Well, hello all you cool cats and kittens, and thank you for tuning in. Some of you commented in the last episode that my beard was getting a little long, so I did take care of that. In fact, I went too far, got in trouble with the wife, and now it's growing back in. But that does not fix the mop on my head. As you can probably tell, I've been trying to avoid the at-home haircut, but I think if you tune in next time, you'll find that I gave up. So before I begin, I have to congratulate Kristen Carlson, who noticed my prize maple syrup collection behind me, and successfully answered our question and won herself a bottle of the sweet sticky stuff. Want a bottle of your own? Alright, well here's what you have to do. Go to the comments section of this video on YouTube and answer this insanely easy question. Which state in the United States produces the very best maple syrup in the entire world? Easy, right? The first person to respond correctly will be our winner and get themselves a bottle of their own. Next, I also want to take just a quick moment and plug another video that Paragus recently created. Here's all you need to know. Picture your favorite Paragus employees doing a combination of amazing and awful impersonations of the patron saint of Paragus, the one, the only, Morgan Freeman. As I said, that's all you need to know. It's on our YouTube channel, and if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. We've got a lot more content than we shared in the first episode, and so if this episode gets enough traction, we'll put out a sequel and share even more. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get right into our main topic this week, video meetings. If you're anything like me, you've probably been on more video calls in the past few weeks than the rest of your life combined. During that time, I've come to the conclusion that there's two types of video meetings. Ones that were worth the time and ones that weren't. At the same time, I have found that there's two types of video meeting participants. Those who get it and those who don't. Now, before I go any further, if you've been the facilitator of a bad meeting, or if you're one of those participants that's in the camp of just not getting it, don't feel bad. This is all very new, none of us got any training or time to prepare, and we're all doing the best we can. However, what I thought is I would share with you guys a few tips and tricks that might help you out and improve your video participation. I'm going to start off with the facilitators, but I'm going to go rapid fire so as not to spend too much time on this. If there's any facilitators listening who want to learn more, please just reach out. I'm happy to share more tips and tricks and expand. So first up, use the right tool. From Zoom to Teams to Google to Join Me, there's lots of options and they're not all equal. Some tools are great for large audiences. Some are better for interactive meetings. Some are better for internal meetings. Some are just terrible and should never be used. Don't just pick one at random. Be deliberate about making sure you have the right tool for the job. Second, try to make your meetings as interactive as possible. You can use polling tools. You can ask audience members to raise their hand. You can encourage comments and questions in the chat bar. There's no single right answer, but it is important that you do something to engage your audience. Third, test your tech. Please make sure ahead of your meeting that you have tested out the technology you're going to use, especially if your audience is external to your company. Do a dry run and make sure that everything that you're going to do during that meeting works and that you know how to do it. And while I could probably go on for a lot longer, I'm going to end with fourth and maybe the most important one. Know how to control your meeting. As a facilitator, you need to know how to mute the microphones of those participants who don't get it. You need to know who is in attendance without asking everyone to introduce themselves, where we inevitably all talk over each other, have an awkward pause, all talk over each other, and have an awkward pause. You also need to know how to share your screen if you intend to do so. As participants, we're counting on you to make sure the meeting is not a disaster. Please don't let us down. All right, I'm going to leave it there for the facilitator and move on to the participants. Our job shouldn't be that hard, but for some reason, about 50% of us are struggling with it. So let's cover a couple of the basics. First, and what I would think would be the most obvious, mute your microphone. I don't know why this one is so hard, but I am sure that we can all agree that just a single person who is struggling with the muting of their microphone can totally ruin a very important meeting. Second, in an ironic twist, unmute your microphone. I know, it's confusing, right? But it isn't really. Think of it like this. When your mic is muted, your mouth is closed. When you want to talk, you have to open your mouth, and therefore you need to unmute your mic. Try to work on that. Okay, ready for something a little more advanced? Make sure you can see yourself. It's really easy to forget that you're on video and start doing things that you don't intend other people to see. I have seen people start picking their noses, spinning around in their chair, flossing their teeth, and my favorite so far, change their shirt. Having that little video in the bottom corner of your screen that shows you what other people are seeing can serve as a reminder that you are on video and need to be attentive to that. And that brings me to my fourth and final point for tonight. If you wouldn't do it in person, don't do it on video. If you are sitting in a conference room having an important meeting, would you be on your phone updating your Facebook status? Would you randomly start having a conversation with another person who is not in the meeting? Would you just stand up without warning and walk out of the room? My hope is that you wouldn't. However, for some reason in a video meeting, all of these behaviors have suddenly become acceptable. Now trust me, I get it. Diving across the room to keep your naked 4-year-old from walking across the screen, totally justified. However, if we're all being totally honest with ourselves, I bet we could agree that our video meeting etiquette is not as good as our in-person meeting etiquette. And thus, I leave you with this one simple rule. Ask yourself, would I do this if I was sitting in this meeting in person? All right, I'm going to leave it there and move on to the lighter side, the online videos that are making me smile. If you remember, last week I introduced you to Pluto, the amazing talking dog. Well, in keeping with the animal theme, this week I'm going to introduce you to Andrew Cotter, a very bored BBC sports announcer who has resorted to offering colorful commentary of his 2 dogs while they do very normal things. You're welcome.
Well, how fitting that it should come down to these two. Olive in her familiar black, 5 times the champion. Mabel, the rising star, winner last year. You can see how excited they are, but also feel the tension.
Get on with it.
And here it's in the crowd as we near the start of this final. And now they go, Olive away first, but a problem with Mabel's ball. That might cost her now, having to play catch up. Both settling quickly into rhythm. You can see the contrast in styles. Mabel heavy tail use, happy to be alive. Everything's amazing. Olive more steady, wasting little energy. Very much of the old Labrador school. Eating's a serious business. Don't bollocks around wagging your tail. And Mabel seems just a little sluggish here. Perhaps more was taken out of her by the worm medicine she was given last night than we thought. But Olive, focused, relentless, tasting absolutely nothing. Mabel trying, but surely a lost cause. Her title defence coming to an end. Olive taking everything, nothing left but the bowl to lick now. And Mabel, well, doesn't seem too upset. A bit of class there from the youngster, generous in what will surely be defeat, because Olive has won now. She's taken the title back at 7.5. Mabel looking to offer congratulations again to the dog who was her inspiration growing up. Once more, wonderful to see that spirit in the game. What a final we've had here. Great rivals, but great friends. Oh, and you see the swapping of bowls at the end. Join us again tomorrow. Live coverage of a snooze on the sofa, possibly. Bye for now.